Hi guys, hope you are doing well. It's been a little bit since I've been here. I have not been on YouTube, I don't think, since probably December daily stuff. So I did want to share with you a journal that I had created in the last couple of months, and I really like it. I think it turned out super cute. I ended up taking a vintage book, maybe even antique. I don't remember actually. Let me look here. I have the center of it. So this was like the inside of the book. Let's see, when was it from? It was definitely falling apart. The whole spine was falling apart. It looks like possibly 1840. So it's a very old book, very crumbly, but it's so much fun. I love the detail on it. This is actually the spine of the book, and I decided to back it because it was very rough and worn. I backed it with a little bit of vintage pillowcase and add it to the cover. And then I did some hand stitching. I love these really groovy buttons. I got them at an estate sale. I think this one maybe two. And then I did some hand stitching. The spine is 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So the signatures are in there with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. The spine is made out of a fabric. I think it's that, is it broadcloth? I may be saying that wrong, but it's a very fun, funky fabric that I also found, I think, at an antique mall close by my house, and I really like it. It's very tropical, kind of Hawaii themed, but I thought it really looked cool with the contents of the journal because of the colors. So I definitely had to add that on. Broadcloth, I think that might be right. I could be wrong. I will look it up. I also added these vintage, or not these vintage, but these book corners here because the corners were very worn and I wanted to make sure they stood up over time. The inside of the book, I did go ahead and add this paper here to the inside front and back cover. The cover was pretty just general boring. I think it was just kind of maybe a brown paper, and I thought this paper was so much fun. I got that paper from a stationery store that I went to when I was in Tennessee, and it's a whole book. It's this marbled paper design. It is stunning. It is so freaking gorgeous. I absolutely love everything in it. I had to pick it up. I think it was about $30 or so, but I don't know. It was so worth it. And these sheets, when they come out, they are perforated and they come out like a big sheet. So they are quite large. You can see they quadruple in size once you pull them out of the book. But this is the kind of book it is, or this is the book. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. They had some other papers too. Oh, here's a good look at all the different things inside. They had other books from this brand too that weren't just the marble paper. Everything was super gorgeous, but I thought the marbled paper would be great for these old books and things. So this journal does come with this little kind of fold out envelope type thing that you can add journaling to. You can embellish. You could even stitch papers in here to make your own little mini journal. And there is the stitching from the machine all the way around the edge. And it is backed with some recycled brown paper. And then it just folds up and it's this pink stitching. I just thought this was super pretty. And so the inside is a very funky kind of groovy kind of look. I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit so it gets a little closer. And I absolutely love this paper collection. I don't remember off the top of my head what Etsy shop that I got it from. If I remember, I will link it down below. And if I didn't and you want to know more about it, let me know and I will do that and add that. So here, I can't remember, there's 3 signatures. This will be in my Etsy shop. I will have all the information about the dimensions and the number of pages and all that there. Off the top of my head, I don't remember quite what size and number of pages this is, but it will be in the Etsy shop listing. So throughout the whole book, I used this printable, and then I also used the hand-dyed coffee/tea paper. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I try to do them in big batches, and this is from maybe a year ago, so I don't remember quite if I used coffee or tea. I've been trying to use tea more. I don't like how the coffee kind of gives it a really kind of a strong smell, so I've been using more of a tea-dyed paper, but the smell does go away after a while. This is some vintage ledger. This folds out. This is a little envelope that is just printed on the back with this really cool print that I thought just kind of added some contrast to this. And this was just on here. Another one of just the regular printable page. I did a bunch of my clusters throughout the album. Most of these do have a little tuck spot, so you can put a little journaling card underneath it. but for these, I mostly used different papers. This was from the same kit that the printables are, and then I have some butterflies and some other pieces of recycled paper and things just from my stash, and the butterfly is from another printable. This is, what is this called? This is called, I never can remember what this is called, but it's kind of a cool textured kind of recycled paper. If I think about it as I'm going through the little flip through, I'll let you guys know. So here I have a lot of pockets and tucks. So here are some other little pieces from the kit, and they just double-sided. I back them with some different printed paper, so they're a little bit thicker, and they just pop in this little pocket here. Here's a belly band, and then it has a journaling card. There's lots of journaling cards and places to tuck things into. This is some green paper that they use for masking off like the floors and stuff when you paint. It's a fun green color. Here's some more of the tea dye paper. This is another printable from another kit. It's a very 70s groovy kind of kit. Absolutely love this. This is so much fun. Love the colors in this. I haven't done a lot of things with color like this before, so I was really had a good time doing this. This is a little frame that you can slip a picture behind, and I did some little stitching here, some little knots from French knots, and this also flips out. I did a scallop edge that was trimmed out. So lots of journaling space. Here's another pocket, another little tag. This one, sorry, it's blurry. This one is has an eyelet. I think it's a little heart. You can't really see it too much, but this is some hand-dyed seam binding, some recycled brown paper. This is just a plain journaling card with that same brown recycled paper on it. Then as you move along, again, just more pages of the journal, some more of the ledger paper, more tea-dyed paper. Here is a really cute journaling card. I love this little VW bus, and I did a little cluster with some vintage buttons on it, and I just did some stitching. And then this is some hand-dyed muslin, and again, some more of that brown paper on the back. This is one of those little clusters, and it's got a tuck, and it's got some stitching, some hand stitching, and some machine stitching on it. This is going to the second signature. Some more of this fun paper. I love the images in this printable. Super fun. And this cow cute. He's so adorable. Here is another journaling card that I did some hand stitching on, just some X's. This one I did not cover the back on. You can cover it, you can glue this down, you can do different things, but I did leave this one just kind of open. But I really like how these little X's look on this card, and this little girl is so adorable. And then I made another one of my clusters here that's just acting as a tuck, some stitching and just some collaging and some more hand stitching, both machine and hand stitching. Another little place where you can add a photo here. This has got some more hand stitching on it with some embroidery floss. More pages to journal. This one also flips out. This is the center of the second signature. Here are some more tags. Again, another eyelet with some of that seam binding that's dyed. Just a plain journaling card with some of that green paper on the back, and then a little tuck pocket. Sunshine, super cute. I have enough paper that I'm going to make another journal, I think, with this paper. I'm not sure when I'll have that done because it just seems to be taking me forever to make journals these days. But I do have more that I plan on making another journal that's maybe similar to this, at least in style. Here's a pretty little image. Here's more of that recycled paper, just a pull out here with another piece from the digital kit. Here's another tuck. This one's a little envelope, so it folds over and you can see some of that inside paper with that contrast. I think is so pretty. Here's another tuck spot that has some stitching on it and just layers of paper. Now we're into the third signature. Lots of journaling space, like I had said. There's lots of tags. We have this one here that's got some hand stitching and some cheesecloth on it with some of that seam binding. Another just simple journaling card, and then another tag with an eyelet and some of that dyed seam binding with the green paper on the back. Another cute little tuck or pocket here where all the little tags fit into. Here's another cluster with a little butterfly. This is just some dyed cheesecloth. Here is another journaling card with some hand-stitched fabric on here, and then you can see the back. And this is just a little kind of belly band or a tuck. Here's another little cluster that I made. This is another piece of that really fun paper, and it folds out. These all are open, so you can add a photo or anything behind it. I thought those were cute little Polaroid, mini Polaroid looking kind of embellishments. This is some just like almost like old school like resume paper, so that's in the kit too. So it's got a fun watermark. You can't really see it on camera, but there is a watermark on the pages, some of the pages. Here's another large tuck where you can put in their tag or some journaling. This has got a little bit of a doily you can see on there, which I think is fun. I like the texture that gives. And then this is the back of the book. And like I said, there's that same paper that's really gorgeous. So that is what the book looks like, all finished. So if you're interested in this, it should be posted on my Etsy store very soon. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And I really appreciate you stopping by, checking it out. And hopefully you'll go over to my Etsy shop and see what I have over there. Thanks, everybody. Bye, everybody.